We are the worst at taking care of ourselves. We tend to run on empty 90% of the time because we're so busy making sure all the people that we love and that we care about are healthy and happy around us. And so we tend not to really invest much in our health until we crash. And when I mean,
it's too late.
I mean, really crash, right?
Yeah. Good morning, Mom Nation. It's Katie, real estate Katie, that is. And I am back again for another Live and Learn. You guys know the drill by now. We've been doing this for years. This is when we have an amazing mama, usually a member of our group, come on, teach us a skill or show us something, demonstrate something, or give us some specialized knowledge that we can walk away from this show with and implement right away. And this day I'm excited for because these are topics that I see you guys have conversations about day in and day out in the group. So I know that this is nice, spicy info, and you're going to be super excited to meet my friend, Melinda Glenn. Hello, Melinda.
Hello.
And you are with Lifehack 180, yes?
Yes, that's right.
Awesome. And that's your business. So real quick, what exactly is Lifehack 180?
So I developed Lifehack 180 because I'm a nutritionist and I'm a naturopathic specialist. And I wanted to help people find easy, simple ways to hack their health without it being overly complicated, something you had to put all this work and thought into, just little tips, tricks, and things you can do that make a big difference in your everyday life.
Yeah. So you came to a whole group of moms with that. I mean, that you're going to be like the most popular girl in the world today because that's what moms need, life hacks, especially for health, because what's the first thing that goes to the wayside when we have that little baby that we need to take care of and all the household stuff on top of it? Like, what's the first thing? It's our health.
Yeah. We are the worst at taking care of ourselves. We tend to run on empty 90% of the time because we're so busy making sure all the people that we love and that we care about are healthy and happy around us. And so we tend not to really invest much in our health until we crash. And when I mean,
it's too late.
I mean, really crash, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And I see it time and time again, and it's sad. So I'm so glad that you are out there, you're advocating for moms and for their health and helping us, teach us things that we need to know, because you don't learn everything in school, obviously. You certainly don't learn about parenting. You certainly don't learn about self-care and the reasons why it makes such a difference in your life and why it's necessary. These are things that we don't learn.
No, and they're so hard to learn because even mainstream topics in media sometimes don't really deal with the core nuts and bolts of especially gut health and autoimmune disorders and these things that go on in our body. And we're just searching for answers.
Yeah. Or these weird things. Like I have one of those weird bodies that just things crop up. And we'll get into that and we can talk about that. Sure. And I can give you some examples. But I know I know hacks are necessary for me. So this is I'm going to be learning right along with the other mamas, Melinda. I'm excited to have you here. And I see that you have these gorgeous, pretty nails. And I have to bring up one more hack before look at how gorgeous they are. I have to bring up another mama hack before we dive into your mama hacks. Have you ever used Color Street nails or those nail strips? Oh, girl, you got to check it out. My friend Eileen, she is a distributor we call her our dealer because every time we have like a girls' night out or we did, cookie decorating, we do that often when holidays are coming up. Like we do all of this, girlfriend stuff. And whenever Eileen comes, everyone's all like going out to her car and everything because she's got this whole box of these amazing nail strips. They're super inexpensive. If you're like me, one set will last me actually 2 rounds because I have shorter nails than you do though. And so I make them last, but I've got to tell you, it's like salon quality manicure for moms on a budget and moms with no time. And especially no time to wait for your nails to dry, because isn't that the worst? Like you get them done.
Yeah.
And then the baby cries or the dog needs to go out. And then all of a sudden you've destroyed 2 or 3 of them. And it's such a bummer.
And they have some really cute, I've seen them before. I haven't used them. They have some really great like patterns and designs and fun colors. And so
super cute. Yes. They have a lot of glitter strips, which I'm really into. I'm like into the purple glitter these days. And every time there's a holiday comes up, you know, they've got the holiday nails, which I think is just the most fun on the planet. So yeah. So I entertain myself at night with my Color Street nail strips. There you have it. So check out my friend Eileen Sater. She's with Color Street. She's an awesome gal, and she will hook you up with yet another self-care life hack. So let's dive right into it, Melinda. Let's talk gut health. Why is this important to us?
Well, because the gut is everything in your body. You have your gut brain biome. So if your gut health is off, you're going to feel sluggish. You're going to have brain fog. You're going to have problems remembering things. You're going to be low energy and emotionally offset too, right? But it's also the house of your immune system. So if you want to feel good, if you want your body to be able to fight all these little buggies and bacteria that our kids love to bring into our homes
every day,
you have to have a good immune system, and that happens in your gut. And also, one thing that a lot of people don't know about the gut is 70% of your serotonin. So your happy hormone, your hormone that makes you feel calm, relaxed, good, all the things that you need the most, especially as a wife, as a mom, all these things is made in your gut.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Your gut affects everything. It affects your skin. It affects, you know, your immune system. It affects every part of your body. So it's really important that we're taking care of our tummies.
So how do we know that it's out of whack?
You can usually tell if you have like digestive issues. So many people have digestive issues, whether it's heartburn, whether it's stomach pain, whether, you know, it's just slow digestion, constipation, things like that, bloating. If you have a lot of inflammation going on, your ankles tend to swell, or you carry a lot of puffiness. A lot of times that is because of poor digestion and poor gut health.
So fast forward, I figured it out. Gut health's bad. Now, what are the steps that I take to cure it? I'm assuming food is a big part of that.
Well, food is huge, because what tends to happen in the gut first and foremost is that when we eat a lot of sugary foods, processed foods, things that aren't good for our gut, we get what's called a candida overgrowth. And so we'll get this yeast overgrowth in our stomach, in our gut, and it just wants more sugar. It wants to be fed. So it really affects your cravings. So like I know some myself, because I dealt with this personally, and so many women will be like, well, I crave bread. I crave sweets. I crave these foods. I can't stop eating them. But especially when you have a candida overgrowth, it's like your body is screaming at you to feed it.
Yeah.
So candida is typically the first and honestly easiest things that I deal with clients with their gut health.
You know what? I had that problem. So I had that problem a couple of years ago, and I was working with my trainers are also certified dietitians, I guess, titians. Anyway, it's not my field, so I don't know how to say it. So, and I wasn't getting any results in the midsection, and I was still kind of puffy down there and bloated. And one of them said, you know what? I bet you it's a candida issue. So we went through this whole cleanse. Like I couldn't even eat fruit because fruit has the sugar that feeds the candida, blah, blah. Right. So there were a lot of restrictions, but I have to tell you that was the problem, and flat stomach ever since. Yeah. I work out hard. Yeah. I eat appropriately, didn't then. And it's amazing the difference, like amazing.
It makes a huge difference, huge. And also when you have candida, what happens is it tends to inflame the lining of your stomach. So when you do eat food, the proteins of the food are able to get into your body through that enlarged lining, instead of going through the entire digestive system properly. And that can actually trigger a tremendous amount of autoimmune issues, because then you have these proteins in your body that your body doesn't really recognize because they're not broken down properly. And so then you start having skin issues. You might start having more issues with your thyroid or with eczema or psoriasis. There's a whole slew of autoimmune issues. But yeah, the gut is, I'm glad that you worked with your trainers and dietitians and got that all fixed up.
It made a huge difference to me. And, you know, it's funny that you say it about eczema, because during that time I was trying to figure out, and I was going through all these like topical solutions, right? I was trying to figure out why I had head to toe eczema.
Yeah.
Guess what went away once I fixed it?
That's fabulous. And it happens a lot more than what you would think. So.
Yeah, well, I see it all the time. I see, and I think it even, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it can happen in children as well, because I see posts constantly, being the admin of MOMnation AZ, I see a lot of stuff, and I see posts constantly of moms saying, my 2-year-old, my 3-year-old, my 4-year-old has eczema. It's crazy. Like, what can I get to put on it? And I'm thinking to myself, don't put something on it, mama. You got to get to the root of what's going on. There's a reason why they're suffering from this.
Yeah. And what you'll notice too is if a lot of times the moms with kids with these issues will say, well, my kid will only eat chicken nuggets. My child only wants to eat French fries or pizza and all of these more carbohydrate loaded foods. And it's because they want to feed that candida.
Yeah. So, and I guarantee if you put something different in front of their face for long enough, they're going to eat it at some point.
Well, luckily there's some hacks that I have.
All right.
That can make it a little bit easier then, because you can go through a very traditional, and I mean, if you have the time and you have like the stamina to get through like the type of cleanse that you did, then yes, absolutely do that. But being through it, it is restrictive and it can be tough as a mama.
Yeah, it is restrictive.
So there are some things you can do. My favorite thing to put clients on or recommend, I'm not a doctor, so I can't make any medical recommendations, obviously, but like for myself, what I would do, one of my favorite things, if I feel like my candida is like coming back, there is an herb called pau d'arco. And you can get it on Amazon. There's a really great little Mama Ran, by the way. I need to introduce her to you guys. Herbal shop in downtown Tempe off of Mill. And they
love to know about that.
Yeah, you can just get the pau d'arco there and make a tea with it. It's very gentle on your body, but it will wipe out candida in your gut.
Really?
Yeah, it's super effective. It's really, really good.
I definitely need the hookup on that, Melinda.
The pau d'arco is great for wiping out the candida. And I highly suggest taking some digestive enzymes or drinking a little bit of apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. So Bragg's or some kind of good apple cider vinegar before your meals, because that will really help with your digestion and actually breaking your food down.
True confession, I actually like apple cider vinegar.
I do too. I don't mind it. I'm lazy though. So when I go to drink mine, I tend to drink it straight. And I know that's like horrible for your... I just slug it.
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, put in a little shooter, away we go.
Right. But you guys can take capsules. If people can't tolerate the taste, definitely just take some apple cider vinegar capsules. That will help a lot. So those are like a couple of things that will really help get rid of candida. It is important to limit your processed foods and your simple sugars. So I don't mind personally if you have some fruit, especially if they're lower on the glycemic index, like your blueberries, your strawberries, your raspberries, things like that. But you do want to try to stay away from the things that, think of it as making wine or beer, but in your stomach. So anything that you would feed to beer or wine to make it continue to grow, like so all your sugars, is what you kind of want to avoid whenever you're doing a gut cleanse.
Gotcha. So you also want to avoid beer and wine.
Right.
Like that's a given.
I know, son. But usually you only have to do this for a week or two. So it's really great. Some digestive enzymes, apple cider vinegar, the pau d'arco. It's spelled a little bit weird. It's like PAUDEARCO, but I'm sure you guys can link it or do something. So that really helps. Bone broth is extremely healing to the gut. So while you're wiping out all this candida and getting your digestive working better, you want to start to soothe and heal that stomach lining because it's been inflamed, right? It's like screaming at you and letting all this stuff through. So bone broth is really healing to the lining of the gut. So you definitely want to drink good bone broth. Don't just go buy the little cartons. Like you can either make your own, it's really easy to make, or if like do Kettle Fire or Epic brand, there's some good bone broths out there.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Good to know, because that is important too. You want to make sure you get the right stuff.
Yeah.
So you spoke a little bit about inflammation. Can we talk more about that? How do I know if I have that problem?
Well, so for me, if I start to get inflamed, my shoes are tight by the end of the day.
Oh, wow.
Or like things leave marks in me really easily. Let's say I have socks on, I go to take my socks off and, there'll be that really deep indentation.
Yep.
Where your eyes get all puffy and you start getting really baggy down here. And then we just feel inflamed. Maybe your hands feel tight. Some people's hands and fingers swell.
Oh, good point. I see what you're saying. Like your ring maybe feels tighter.
So we'll start carrying a lot of inflammation in our body. And I don't think women realize how much water we can like hold on to and retain. It can be 10, 12 pounds sometimes that we're just holding on to inflammation. And it just makes us feel so sluggish and out of energy. And then we don't feel good because things don't fit. And it's no good.
Yeah, it's not good at all. So we realized, okay, we have inflammation. What's the first step to figuring out what's causing it? I mean, does it make sense to do like a food allergy panel or something like that?
You can. You definitely can do food allergy testing. And I do recommend it if you're really having a lot of like digestive issues. So you could definitely go to your doctor and do some food allergy testing. There's also some hair testing and different types of testing available.
Yes, my friend Kara does that actually.
Yeah, and it can be a little bit easier than the actual food allergy tests. So definitely you can do some food allergy tests and see what is going on in your body that your body's reacting to food-wise too. That's really important, especially with our food in America, because so much of it is, pesticides, GMO. Like we're really changing, unfortunately, the actual DNA makeup of a lot of our food in America by the way we grow it. And our body is just like, what the heck is this? It just doesn't recognize it. So I would say we probably have a lot more food allergies in the United States than elsewhere because of how we develop our food.
That's really interesting. And I think that's important for us to kind of like hang on for a moment, is that you go to the grocery store and you're grabbing that perfectly good looking apple, but there's some stuff that you really need to know about that perfectly good looking apple.
Yeah. And especially with gluten. And I want to hit on this because so many people are dealing with like gluten intolerance right now.
Yeah.
And it's really not that all these people are just suddenly allergic to wheat. But in America, because we've GMO'd our gluten so much, our wheat so much, we've literally changed the DNA structure profile of that protein and that gluten. And our bodies are just not recognizing it. So especially with the gluten and grains, it's very important to go as organic and especially non-GMO as you can if you're going to include those in your diet, so that your body knows what they are and doesn't react to them as like a foreign invader. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I deal with gluten situations in my family too. So thank you for bringing that up. And I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. And so many people say, well, I went to Europe, I went to Italy, I went to some other country and I could eat all the bread and I could eat all the things. And like, they didn't make my body feel terrible. And I actually lost weight and I didn't bloat and I didn't feel this way. And it's because their grains over there are not treated like our grains over here. So if you can find imported like flour or things like that, definitely do it.
Then use that and see what kind of difference it makes. Yeah,
for sure.
That's interesting. Yeah. Last question for you that I have, insulin. Let's talk about insulin. What's the importance, and why do we need to pay attention to that?
Okay. So insulin, obviously, so what insulin does is when you eat sugar, your body needs a certain amount of sugar for like gasoline, for fuel. It runs your body. It gives all of your cells in your body energy, right? So we need sugar, we need carbohydrates, but because we eat so much sugar typically, and I really hate this with our food labeling industry because they are sneaky. like people really think especially as moms, we're in a hurry. We really think that we're eating healthy. So we grab our yogurt out of the fridge and we're like, yeah, it's got our probiotics and it's good. But if you flip that little label around, a Yoplait might have 24 grams of sugar.
Wow.
If you're not careful.
That's insane.
Yeah. And so when you have too much sugar in your body, what happens is your body produces insulin. The insulin grabs the extra sugar, but it can't really do anything with it other than store it inside of a fat cell, which is fun.
Yeah.
So when we have too much sugar, our insulin is storing our sugar and fat. What happens is if we become too insulin resistant, then we are storing too much fat and our metabolism isn't working right. So insulin resistance is really common in women, especially hormones have a lot to do with like insulin resistance and how our body is manufacturing and using insulin, as well as our diet. So it can be really hard as a woman, especially if you have PCOS. I know a lot of moms are diagnosed with PCOS. PCOS causes a tremendous amount of insulin resistance, which is why they see so much weight gain. And no matter what they do and what they try, they cannot seem to lose it.
I hear that so much.
Yeah.
So whoops, that fell down. So you're saying that has a relationship with insulin?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And a lot of autoimmune disorders do. But one of the things that I do for myself, and, I recommend that people research is, so insulin resistance, if you go to the doctor and you're highly insulin resistant, or you're just not, your body's just storing too much fat due to insulin, they'll typically put you on a prescription like metformin or something that will help with your insulin regulation. But there is a supplement that you can buy that's a hack. It's actually called berberine. Yeah.
I haven't heard of this.
It's really, in my opinion, very safe. It's widely used, but clinically, and I have the links to the studies should you need them for anyone or anything, but it's been studied widely and clinically it's as effective as metformin and helping with blood sugar levels and regulating insulin. And it's really amazing. And you can get it pretty much anywhere. And it's just a natural supplement. So again, it's pretty safe.
I love how you're, you seem to kind of go toward the natural, more like your body knows what to do with it kind of products. I love that. And I feel like I'm not a doctor. I don't have a background like you have, but I feel like if your body knows what to do with it and how to use it, it's going to perform like it should perform because your body naturally knows how to perform. But do you feel like if you continue to bring, and some people need other, like synthetic or man-made, whatever type of products. Some people do need that. I totally understand. But do you feel like if you continue to use those type of products versus the natural that your body instinctively knows what to do with, is your body kind of like trained out of its own natural rhythm at some point?
Well, I think it's two things. I think that your body does get trained to not to do things on its own.
Right.
But it's also one of those things, I feel like sometimes when we depend on pharmaceuticals a lot, we don't fix what's causing the problem that made us need the pharmaceutical.
Right. Yes.
And so I feel like when you go into more of a naturopathic route, especially with healing the body, you really start to listen to your body and you really start to respect your body and you really start to want to honor and take better care of your body and feel better instead of just like sticking Band-Aids on all the owies. So I always try to be very much a body healer instead of a symptom fixer. And because I'm autoimmune, that's what I experience personally, like when dealing with doctors and stuff, because especially with autoimmune disease, like they really don't know what causes it. Like nobody has that answer of why my immune system attacks my thyroid. Or when I have a lupus flare up, the doctors don't know why my body's deciding to do that. All they can do is prescribe medicine. And so when I got into this field, it was because I was really looking to find out what is going wrong in my body that it is trying to hurt me. Like what's broken here and really fix those root causes.
So you weren't getting answers.
No,
So you
no,
decided to find your
just
own
medicine.
answers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
just
decided
medicine.
to help others find their own answers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So tell us again. So if for those that are listening, tell us again what Lifehack 180 does.
So Lifehack 180 is a company that I started, and it's basically trying to help people make big changes in their health with small changes in their daily life. It doesn't have to be, I would love for everybody to wake up tomorrow and like decide to eat completely clean and get all of the nutrients and the vitamins and work out, 3 times a week and drink 64 ounces of water and do all of these things that you really keep your body running great. That is not it's not reality for me. And this is what I do every day.
Right.
And it doesn't always fit into our lifestyle, especially as moms.
Yeah.
So I tried to create programs in a company that would find that balance of where these things will make a big impact in your life and how you feel, but you're not having to go full scale, vegan, like not that there's anything wrong with that. I applaud that, but you don't have to jump so far into the deep end as far as health. It's something that you can manage in your day-to-day life. Just simple, easy thing.
Because it's not sustainable to do that, to make like these huge changes, right? And then it's not sustainable, so you don't sustain it. So then you get, sad, and then you get depressed, and then you get hard on yourself, and then you're back to eating then you're back to eating the crap anyway, because you're emotionally eating.
Yes, 1,000%. And the reality is if we'll take a little bit of that time out to make ourselves feel better as moms, we start to feel better, we are so much better at being mom, at being wife, at getting things done, because we're taking care of us first. And we really need, as women, to give ourselves that gift because it's so important. We're so much better when we take care of us. And it is not selfish, Where
do we ever get this idea?
I don't know. But ideally, let's make it easy. Let's make it not so hard. Because look, as moms, we oftentimes feel like we're failing in a million different areas anyway. Right. And so like the last thing I want to do is give somebody a program that they're going to look at and do for 3 days and feel like they're failing at just another thing.
Right.
So I want to make things easy. Yeah. Make it where you can succeed. Make it where you can feel like you have success.
Yeah.
And then you just go from there.
Totally agree. It makes a lot of sense. So essentially you kind of coach people into a healthier lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have programs. I have and there's several of them, but I have like a high protein, low carb program. I have a specific gut health program for clients that really want to just focus on gut health. So I have a lot of different programs as far as nutrition that fit different lifestyles and different levels of busy. And then I also do I do energy healing and things like that as well, which I love. I got my little chakras.
Love it. So you do Reiki?
I do some quantum Reiki energy healing. So I really think that the emotional mind spirit balance is so important. So finding that place for moms where they can be stress-free. So I've come out with like some digital planners and digital like affirmation guides and digital content that moms can really download and use in their day-to-day life that will kind of help just.
Love it. We need that.
Good.
We need that so much. And it sounds like, because it sounds like you came from the same place that we're kind of all in, and you've moved through it and you've figured it out. And now you're sharing it with others. And that is a beautiful thing, Melinda. If nobody has told you that, bravo. Awesome job. Like, we need more people like Melinda in the world. How can our audience connect with you? Do you offer consultations, or like, if I wanted to come and see you and get some coaching in one of those directions that you coach in, like what happens next? What do I do?
The easiest way to contact me right now would be through Facebook. If you have Facebook, so it's Lifehack 180 at Facebook. And I'm definitely there. My website, I'm revamping, but it's almost all set up. So if you go to lifehack180.com, it's there. It's not polished yet, but it's there. So you're more than welcome to contact me through that as well. Or you can contact me through email at contact@lifehack180.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to have you on. I learned so much. I'm actually going to go back and watch the replay probably a few times, like with my husband, so he can hear these things too, because I think it's important for guys as well, not just us ladies, but
it is. Yeah.
right? Like, but definitely a thing for moms out there. I mean, you are doing great things, solving moms' problems, and I appreciate that so much. If any of you would like to catch the replay as well, hop on over to our YouTube channel. Our handle is @MOMnation USA. Just scroll down a little bit and you will see the Live and Learn playlist. Melinda's video will be uploaded there very soon. It'll be a little bit later today, but it will be there. Probably once this podcast hits, it'll be there. So all of you all that are listening to our podcast on your favorite podcast channel, if you don't know how to get to us, just do a quick search for MOMnation Talk Radio. You will find our channel. That's where all of our shows are pushed through, and just hit like the little notification bell, download whatever it is on your favorite platform. That way you'll be notified of all of our shows once they hit. Thank you again, Melinda, with Life Hack
Thank you.
180.
And thanks all the mamas on MOMnation. I absolutely love that group.
Oh,
it is such a lifeline for me as a mom and as a woman. I just love, love, love this beautiful group that you've put together for us.
Thank you, Melinda. It is definitely a labor of love, and I have a lot of help. I have people that are like, how in the world do you do anything besides that? I'm like, I have a lot of help. There's a lot of people that pitch in and help. So thank you to all of those ladies too.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.